Hi there, welcome to Storytime. I'm Miss Andrea, reading on behalf of the Clearview Library District. As always, before we read stories, we have to get our wiggles out. Can you stand up for me, please? I wiggle my fingers. I wiggle my toes. I wiggle my ears. And I wiggle my nose. I wiggle my shoulders. And I wiggle my chin. I stretch my arms wide and I pull them back in. I wiggle my elbows. I wiggle my knees. I hop like a bunny. And I smile and say, cheese. Now I have no more wiggles left in me, and I'll sit on the floor as still as can be. All right, so we have a book today all about imagination. This book is called If by Sarah Perry. If cats could fly, where do you think cats would go if they could fly? Maybe they'd find mice. Maybe they'd find catnip. If mice were hair, whoa. How do you think that would feel if mice were hair? Might it feel a little tickly? If worms had wheels, if frogs ate rainbows, what do frogs eat? Yeah, they eat flies. What if frogs ate rainbows? If dogs were mountains, whoa. If zebras had stars and stripes, what color are zebras? They're white and black, and they always have stripes, but what if they had stars and stripes? If music could be held, oh, how do we get to music? How do we experience music? With our ears, right? We can hear music. But what if music could be held? If ugly were beautiful, what kind of animal is this? It's a warthog, and she's beautiful. If toes were teeth, ew. If toes were teeth. If caterpillars were toothpaste, that'd be pretty weird. If whales lived in outer space, where do whales live? In the ocean. If leaves were fish, do you think they'd turn colors in the fall and fall to the ground? Or maybe the trees would be in the water, and if they fell, they'd just swim away? If leaves were fish. If clouds were spirits, what do you see in those clouds? Dragons and lions. If clouds were spirits. If butterflies were clothes, What would happen if all the butterflies flew away? She'd be naked. If lightning made rhinos, oh. If ants could count, what number did the ants count here? There's 1 circle, 2 circles. The number 8. Can we count to 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If ants could count. If the moon were square, that's a cube, right? It's a 3-dimensional square. What shape is the moon normally? A circle when it's full, or sometimes a crescent? Yeah. If kids had tails, do you have a tail? Check. If spiders could read Braille, what is Braille? See all those dots on the page? Yeah, Braille is how blind people can read. So they can't see the words on the page. So they have pages that have little bumps on them like this, and they can feel what the bumps are, and that's how they know what the words are. But what if spiders could read that? If hummingbirds told secrets. What do you think the hummingbird is telling the monkey? Maybe, I know where some pretty good fruit trees are. Maybe the hummingbird's telling the monkey its favorite TV show. If this is the end, then dream up some more. Can you think of your own silly things like that? Like if birds could swim? Or what if rocks could talk? Can you think of more? So we're going to use our imaginations, and we're going to pretend to be bunnies. So we're going to do our Sleeping Bunnies song. How Sleeping Bunnies works is we'll get on the ground and pretend to be sleeping until I say wake up, and we'll hop around until I say stop. So let's try it. Let's be sleeping. See the little bunnies sleeping till it's nearly noon. Shall we wake them with a merry tune? Oh, so still are they ill. Wake up, little bunnies! Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop, little bunnies, till I say stop. Did you stop? Let's try it again. Everyone be sleeping. See the little bunnies sleeping till it's nearly noon. Shall we wake them with a merry tune? Oh, so still are they ill? Wake up, little bunnies. Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop, little bunnies, till I say stop. Fantastic. Well done. Nice job, little bunnies. So our summer adventure program is still going on, and you can still register for that on our website. I believe this week's challenge is to have a picnic like Red Riding Hood, and we'll be reading Red Riding Hood and Monday's Storytime. So let's get our clapping hands out and say goodbye. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam, let's say goodbye as high as we can. Goodbye! Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as low as we can. Goodbye. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as fast as we can. Goodbye. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as slow as we can. Goodbye. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as quiet as we can. Goodbye. For those who might want it. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as loud as we can. Goodbye! Thank you so much for coming to Storytime today. Miss you all. Hope to see you soon.